back on the Traxxas Slash. Time to finish turning this thing into a Mudboss. Hey, Corey here, Canadian RC guy. Well, hopefully you watched the last video on this Mudboss build where we built this tin body. But this time, it's time to actually get working on this thing, get it lowered down, make it actually into a Mudboss. There's a couple steps to do, nice easy steps. Of course, everyone has their own way to do it. We're going to do it a nice easy way. So let me get this body torn off. We'll get this camera moved in a little bit closer. We'll show you the first couple of steps. So there's three main things that you're going to need to do this Mudboss build. First thing you're going to need, we'll put the part number up in the description of the video, but you're going to need a bumper from a Stampede. The next thing you're going to need is some hard rubber tubing, 1/8 size. And after that, first you're going to need some shock oil because we're going to be fixing those shocks. So the first thing we're going to do, nice and easy, we'll hold you up here. So there's 3 screws here in the top, 2 there and 1 there. And then in the bottom, there's those 4 there. Nice and easy. Oh, showing you the wrong screws. There's those 4 there. And that's going to get this front bumper off. So we'll get that done. We'll bring you back. We'll show you how to get that Stampede bumper on. Pretty darn easy. So there you have it. Once you got all those screws out, pretty simple removal. It just comes right off. Toss that aside. Then for your bumper, flip this car around here for a moment. So normally, you'd have the front bumper on your Stampede just like this, but we're going to flip it over like this for our Mudboss build. And that way, if you want, you can drill a hole through here, put in a body post. That's going to keep your front flap down nice and tight. Pretty simple. Obviously, put it around like this. Flip her around. You're going to use those front 2 holes right there. Get her in place nice and easy. So the next step here, get your front shocks off. Pretty simple. Screw the top, screw the bottom there, yank them right off. All right, so now that we got the shocks out, here's where the work begins. So we're going to tear them down. Pretty simple process if you haven't done it before. We do have another video on it, but we'll show you a quick little bit here. So obviously, pull your spring up, grab your little bottom shock cap there, yank that off. That's going to let your spring come right off. And we've already pre-loosened ours, but if you need to, grab your pliers. Sorry, don't forget the little cap there as well. Grab your shock pliers, grab onto your shaft there, and be able to twist this end right off. Next thing we're going to do, grab onto the body of your shock, twist your top. If you have to, take one of your little wrenches, throw her in the hole in the top, grab on, crack her loose. Get that top off of there. Don't forget the little seal inside. You don't want to lose that. Next thing we're going to do is dump out all this old shock oil. Grab yourself an old container, whatever, and get her out of there. Just squish it up and down and out. Get her all that you can. There we go. Now that most of the shock oil is out, you're going to take your shaft and shove it right in. It's going to pop out the top there, and you're just going to slide it right on out. So then we're going to grab some paper towel. We're going to clean everything off. We'll bring you right back for the next step. So now that we got our shock all torn apart, the next thing you're going to do is grab that plastic tube of yours. Lots of people use hard. We tend to use soft. We do have both here. If you can see the difference here, this is that kind of soft, kind of gas lining tube. And this is more that hard plastic tube. We're fans of the soft kind of rubber tube. We like to have just that little bit of squish in there. We find that that tube is just a little bit too hard. So what you're going to do, take your tape measure, ruler, whatever you got, and get 2 pieces, 1/4 inch. And after you do that, we're going to shove them onto these shafts here. We're going to make our own shock limiters. There we go. There you go. We're going to cut 2 of those little plastic pieces, 1/4 inch. Once you're done that, you're going to take your shaft here. We're going to slide that right onto our shaft, just like that. Back into the body of your shock here. Your shock might take a second. Remember, don't hurt that seal on the inside. And if you need to, if it won't quite go in through that seal, just take a little bit of your new shock oil that you're going to use. We just tend to dab a little bit on our finger here. Lube up your shaft a little bit like that. And that way, it should slide in nice and easy. Get her all lined up there. And there we go. Get her pushed in there, just like that. And now your shock is a 1/4 inch shorter. Pretty simple process, really. Now we're just going to do everything in reverse, get everything put back together. Shock oil filled up. Remember when you're doing your shock oil, get all those bubbles out, let it sit for a little bit so those bubbles can rise to the top. So we'll bring you back here in a few minutes. We're going to get the second shock done. We'll get them put back on the front of the car. So there we have it. Nice and easy. Shocks are back together. Now you can see they spring nicely. As some people do, trim their shocks a little bit shorter. We're not going to get into that yet. We're just going to kind of do it in a nice and easy way. That way, if you guys want to get into Mudboss Racing, super easy for you. Now, we may get into trimming the shocks later on for doing some setup and stuff like that. Obviously, we'll let you know when that time comes. So we're going to get these put back on the car. We'll move on to the next step. So there we have it. Shocks are back on. 4 millimeters lower in the front. Nice and stiff. Pretty simple. Pretty easy. So the next thing we're going to do is also pretty simple and pretty easy. We're going to take this sidebar off. It's just 2 little screws here on the bottom, and we're going to get rid of that. Why, you may ask? Well, it's so that way when we put our body on, we can kind of adjust it over to the one side a little bit, so that way it looks like a real modified. Get this out of the way here. Pretty simple. Just yank her off. Make sure you keep it for a spare because it will work on the other side. Flip her over just like that. Nice and easy. Now, of course, lots of guys will do limiters in the back. We're going to say, just like we are for now, we want to test it out, see how it does. Something else other people do, we haven't done it yet. I think maybe we'll order a set. But they take your front body posts here. They'll use a couple longer screws and they screw them right into here. And obviously you can get some extended body posts as well, so that way they come right through the body. It's all up to you. But the way we designed our metal body, so it can go right through here in the front, sit down nice and easy. So for now, we're just going to leave our body posts where they are. And I guess pretty much other than that, for a first step, you're ready to go racing. So there you have it. That's the easiest and cheapest way I know to build a Mudboss. And like I said before, there's lots of other ways out there you can do it, but this is just the easiest and cheapest way that we know to do it. And we just wanted to share that information with you. Hopefully you're going to pick yourself up a Slash, find a local oval track, and go and do some racing. Now we'll still have a few more videos in the upcoming series on this Mudboss build. We're going to do some setup videos. Maybe we'll do another transmission video. Let us know if there's any kind of other information you guys want to find out. Then we'll do our best to get it here on the channel. We will get this car out on the track here for some test laps in the next little bit. We'll make sure we get that video up here for you guys as well. That way we know whether it's good, bad, and what we need to do next. So if you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button down below. Ring that bell. That way you're going to get all the new upcoming videos. If you have any comments, like I said, drop them down in the comments. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Thanks so much, and we'll see you real soon racing on the oval track.